So when there is that interference, it means that the pilot can be confused in terms of instructions coming from what's the name of that room? I'm not an aviation person, but I think it is at least the signal coming for the pilot from the watchtower or something like that. Not necessarily about. Anyway, I'm not the expert. I will hear from the expert.
Fortunately or unfortunately, the technology is not at a point where everything can go hand in hand. You need to understand that there's a saying in the aviation world that the rules and the regulations are built in blood. It is such a safety precaution where we don't want a situation, or the safety people don't want a situation where because phones are left on, it now interferes with your radar, or it now interferes with your GPS. You're supposed to be going Lagos to Ore, and because someone's phone, I'm not saying, I'm just exaggerating now, because you're supposed to do Lagos to Ore, you end up doing Lagos to Benin, for instance. So just because of the safety, the professionals have said, or the experts have said, hey, just let everyone switch off their phone. It's going to be easier for us to handle. And I feel like that's just what is going on. There's no proving, or I don't think there's any proof that says, okay, if all the phones are on, the aircraft will crash, or if you go to this country and leave the phones on it, I don't think anything has happened like that. I don't think a phone has actively caused a crash. However, there's nothing like being too careful.
So let's look at that situation.
I was sitting to her immediate left. So I was on the aisle seat to the left. She was on the aisle seat to the right. So my seat number was 14B. There was a gentleman to my left who was on 14A. So her own seat number should be either 14C or D. I think the window seat is 14D, while she was 14C on the aisle. So we're right next to each other, and it was a small plane. So I think the distance between us was no more than 2 feet. Yeah, so I heard everything. I saw all that transpired. And yes, she was triggered. Even though the lady, the air hostess, the second air hostess was speaking to her, was directing all her instructions to her. Just me sitting down there, I actually felt humiliated myself, just looking at the way the lady was being spoken to. To be fair, Ibom Air instructed very clearly. The first air hostess that came instructed very clearly, no airplane, switch off your phone. After takeoff, then you can put on flight mode. So it was very clear. The first air hostess addressed us on the emergency exit row protocols. After she did that, she spoke to Miss Emerson and said, please switch off your phone. She told her twice, and then this first air hostess left to continue her duties. The second air hostess, who is the one blocking exactly who is being shown now, that second air hostess now came towards us in the emergency exit and stood, even from her posture, see that she came for trouble. And Miss Emerson had been dealing with her phone. I noticed she was trying to do some stuff, I don't know. And so she told her again, switch off your phone, switch off your phone. And Miss Emerson said clearly to her, I heard it. She said, please, the buttons on my phone to switch off are not working. They are not working, so I don't know how to switch it off. And the woman said, no, switch off your phone. So that back and forth went on. So at the point, that's the second air hostess said, look, you're even using an iPhone, so you don't need a button to switch it off. So the lady said, okay, I don't know how to do it. Can you do it for me? She said, I'm not touching your phone. I'm not touching your phone. Just switch it off. She said, I don't know what to do. So the lady now said, okay, go to settings. Then when you go to settings, go to general. So the girl was holding and said, see, please, I can't understand what you're saying. I can't read. I don't know what you're saying.
There was a clear instruction from the airplane.